Every story begins with a spark. In this magical book, word weavers of all stripes and colors come together, sharing their words like sparks, their journeys like stars, their voices like echoes of wonder. Stories that inspire, challenge, and connect us all. Authors reveal the roots of their journeys, the stories behind their
Does
stories.
your personal journey of self-discovery shape the narrative of the book?
Where conversations flow freely, rippling with ideas that connect
very
and
timid,
inspire.
bashful, all the way into adult years. And then God gave me a revelation of what those words mean. And they're all rooted.
Unraveling the mysteries of narratives and discovering wonders
We
waiting
have
within.
Eloquently Barking Anecdotes, Thoughts, and Observation by Roland Jones. So this is an anthology of stories or anecdotes.
The Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 7, where narratives rise, ignite, and flow. Save the dates.
The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Good afternoon and welcome to Season 7, Day 14 of the Festival of Storytellers. I'm Ellie Casada. I'm the author of One Caregiver's Journey, which is a memoir of my 10 years of sole caregiving for my mother, who broke her hip at the age of 93 and passed away in her bed in our home at the age of 102. And from that, I wrote Generations of Good Food, which is a 200 recipe cookbook that is the legacy of my mother for 6 generations of our Italian family. I want to welcome you to the last roundtable session of Season 7. And I am delighted to be here we've got a great group of people. This roundtable is the final word, reflections of healing, faith, and growth. Our participants will discuss how writing becomes a space for restoration, how faith evolves through hardships, and how growth emerges from brokenness. In this space, we will hopefully be exploring honesty, hope, and reflection. We'll explore how our stories help us to heal, how faith sustains us through change, and how growth unfolds over time. So with that, let's welcome our participants to the stage. We have a full house today, and I am delighted that we have a full house today. Thank you all and welcome. I will ask you to each tell us your name and your books that you have published, and then and the inspiration behind the book. And so since there's so many of us, please try to be, you can't hear me, Kathy? You don't hear, you hear. You can hear me? Okay, thanks, Jill. Kel, can we check Kathy's microphone or have the staff do that? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to each tell us your name, tell us your books, and the inspiration behind them. Please try to be brief since there are so many of us for this session and we got an awful lot to cover. Okay, Teresa, would you unmute and tell us your name and your books published and your inspiration behind your book?
My book is My Brain Makes Me Proud, My Journey with Schizoaffective Thought Disorder and Anxiety. And I was inspired when an Emmy-winning, award-winning reporter who covered me 3 times on the news wanted to write a book with me about my coping with mental illness successfully. So I have an inspiring story to give people hope as a stigma-fighting role model.
Good for you. Thank you. Thank you. Here you go. Here's Jill. Jill is a co-moderator. Jill is high energy. So please, you really are. Jill, tell us your name, your books published, and the inspiration behind them. And did we lose her?
My name is
There you
Jill
go.
Nypower.
Oh, we've lost Jill. Okay, thanks, Kel. Kathy, can you unmute and try to, can you still hear us? Can you hear us? You're unmuted. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, Kathy, the backstage says to go out of StreamYard and then try coming back in, and maybe you'll have your microphone. There you go. Okay, Tracy, you're up. You're on. Tracy, tell us your name.
Tracy Manuel. The name of my book is Navigating the Next Generation, a guide to work with millennials and Gen Z. The inspiration was talking to other business owners about the issues they were having in terms of retaining and being able to hire the younger generation in the workforce. Thank you.
And Tracy, your book is just your topic and your subject is really fascinating, given how different the millennials and Gen Zs are from the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Howard.
Hi,
Tell us your books.
My name is BG Howard, and my books. This is the first series. It's the Family Ties series. The first book was published in 2020 and then revised 2 years later as Family Ties, revised edition, Family Ties Thicker Than Blood. And the follow-up, Family Ties 2, Blood Covenant. The first novel, I won Best New Author from a distinguished from an independent review group, and the second novel, the revised edition, won me a Best Fiction Award from the Distinguished Authors Guild in 2023, and the follow-up, Family Ties 2, Blood Covenant, netted another Best Fiction Award from the Distinguished Authors Guild. And the inspiration for my books, I had an accident years ago, went through a terrible time, lost my memory, but for some reason this idea continued to nag me. So I opened the Word document, started writing, and these are the results. So now I'm on an official writing journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jill, are you back with us? Jill is
I'm back. I had to go on my phone. They don't want me to speak, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna do it from my phone. So you're just gonna have to bear with me. We're gonna make it work though.
Tell us about Jill and your books and your inspiration.
So my name is Jill Nypower, and my books are Healing Codes to Enlightenment, Activation Codes for Full Authenticity and Power, Being Unapologetically You, and Transmuting Pain into Light. All of my inspiration is kind of in my titles. My books are found at jillnypower.com is my website, and I am shared my inspiration, how I navigated darkness, how I overcame fear, how I climbed and faced my fears and learned how to feed love instead of fear. And I overcame a lot of trials and tribulations and learned how to elevate myself and change my energy and change my mindset and find out how the systems and programs and people's minds work so I could take my power back and create a script that and a life that works for me and not what someone else told me I had to live. And so I wrote my books to show you how to do that so you can live the life of your dreams and feel empowered and be the real you and not have to wear a mask and play pretend.
Thank you, Jill. Appreciate that. I am not sure how to say your name. Is it Taji?
Taja Caleb. Taja
Okay.
Caleb, and my book is Help the Decent People, and I have the book Sins of the Father, and the third one that's coming out is The Stronghold of a Men's Presence. My books are at Arthur House, Barnes and Nobles. You can also get it from other places like Amazon. I was inspired to write because I have had a lot of prejudice groups and different corruption that has continued to, for no reason, I guess, attract themselves to me and try to give me a hard time. Like right now, my younger son is in Sacramento, so I'm promoting Help the Decent People to stop the corruption in the community and for them to let us live our best life uninterrupted, because we do not bother anyone and we don't like being bothered as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And then I have Jerry. Did I do you? They keep moving you around. Okay, Jerry, unmute and tell me about Jerry.
Okay, I became a widow in 2004. In 2010, I wrote a grief devotional book called Trading My Sorrows for the Joy of the Lord, and also included other widower stories. This is my first children's fiction book, Joy Overcame Sorrow. It's won two official awards, one a Widow's Goal Best Children's Grief Book award, because I went to a widow's retreat. And then to complement that book is Joy's Journal. So that gives the caregiver or whoever is helping children who have lost a loved one to be able to process and navigate their grief. And then finally, I have another devotional called Anchored in Grief, Lifted by Grace. All of these can be found on Amazon. And Joy Overcame Sorrow can be found on Barnes & Noble and Walmart and Books A Million.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerry. Okay. Kathy, are you unmuted? I'm getting to you, Ruby. Kathy, are you unmuted? Can you hear now, Kathy? Kathy, can you hear us?
Good day. I'm Kathy Pounds
day.
Graham. I'm from Mississippi, and I am the mother of two young men who were born with a rare genetic disorder called Paleus-Merzbacher disease. I lost them in July of 2022. Lost my baby on July the 14th. He had been sick for over a year. I lost my older son July the 29th, unexpected, no problems whatsoever. Just woke up one morning and couldn't wake him up. My books are about my sons, their challenges, their bravery, how they faced every challenge, and how love held us all together. How God's love and His grace and mercy brought us through every challenge. This is my book. This is book one. It is about their life, birth to teenage years. It is Hearts of Gold, Broken Bodies, Immeasurable Blessings. Book two is about their adult life. It is Broken Bodies, Hearts of gold,
Okay.
broken bodies shaped by challenges, because they met every challenge with a smile, with determination, and a willingness to try it their way, regardless of the obstacles. And thank you.
Thank you. Now, Ruby, are you the last one left? I think I've gotten everybody but Ruby. They keep moving you around on my screen. So, Ruby, tell us about you and your books and what inspired you to write them.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ruby G. And my books, the main one that I have right now is New Quantico Files, The Misfits. It is a dystopian sci-fi novel. I also have a poetic memoir out called Colors of the Mind. And Colors of the Mind specifically was a poetic memoir off of my 4 years in college. And a lot happened in those 4 years that shaped who I am today. And it is from those 4 years that I began writing The Misfits. And The Misfits is a story, though told in a fiction lens, it is a story about what it means to be human and what it really means to love and to go through this thing called life.
Super. That sounds pretty interesting, Ruby. That, in fact,
Thank
it
you.
probably is something that we could all resonate with. Okay, I'm going to ask some questions, and there's so many of us. I'm going to try to figure out how. I'm going to try to go around, and hopefully they won't keep moving you guys around on me, so I can make sure that everyone has the opportunity to respond. Hi, Michelle. Okay, the first question is, and so let's try to be brief about what part of your stories reflect healing most clearly, because there's so many of us. And so what part of your story reflects healing most clearly? Jerry, let's start with you. Unmute. Thank you.
Okay, I would say joy overcame sorrow because it's about a 10-year-old little girl who loses her dad suddenly in a car accident. And the story is written from her point of view about how she navigated grief through that first year. And then she learned that she can also help others in the process. So our pain is never wasted. It can have a purpose.
Thank you so much. Tracy, you want to unmute and tell us how your story reflects healing most clearly?
Sure. So my story in terms of healing, I think what it's supposed to do is help our generation to better understand the younger generation, because there are a lot of misconceptions about millennials and Gen Z. So this book was written from their perspectives. I interviewed a bunch of millennials and Gen Z, and I wanted to get their take on how they felt in terms of going into a work environment where they had to work with people that were from other generations. I know I had ideas of my experience with those younger generations, so I wanted to make sure that in this book it could help heal and help others to understand that there are a lot of differences between millennials, Gen Z, and other generations, but that does not mean that that's a problem for them. It means that we just have to communicate differently. We have to have understanding. We have to have open communication with the younger generations, and we have to be willing to listen to them. So hopefully this book will help heal some of those misconceptions that our generation has about the millennials and Gen Zs in the workplace and in other areas as well.
Absolutely. And I have a number of family members who are in the Gen Z generation, and I'm never cease to be amazed and inspired by they're good people. They've got different ideas and different ways of telling us what the world is about. But all in all, Tracy, that's a great thing. Teresa, unmute, and your story reflects, I think your story probably is the one about healing.
Definitely. Having a serious mental illness can be really down on your self-esteem and you feel shameful. But over the years, I've learned to get treatment and get better. And I was assigned a mentor who saw that I didn't believe in myself and things that people told me were negative, such as that I could never get married or have kids. And she even said at one point in her office, Teresa, be driven. The world is missing out on you. And I decided to pursue being a stigma fighting role model to share my story. And I have since become a pastor's wife at age 39 and a mother of 6-year-old twins. And I was age 40, and the likelihood of that is very unlikely for identical twins at age 40.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
BG?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us, how does your story reflect healing?
Well, it's not an autobiographical story. It's one that speaks to the traumas of life, the challenges of life, and it involves a young man by the name of Willie, who moves from South Georgia to New York City as an aspiring actor / model, entertainer. He inadvertently saves the life of a businessman by the name of Oswald Jenkins, who happens to be a key figure in a notorious crime family. So the story concerns the challenges of life, the obstacles of life, the overcoming of those said challenges and obstacles, and it parallels my life, but the challenge comes in the fact that when I had my accident in 2001, I underwent 8+ years of rehabilitative therapy. I lost my memory and had no inclination of what I was writing when I started this. But people who have read it, who have known me all my life, who, when I lived in New York, they look at it and they go, "Are you sure you lost your memory?" And
yeah,
it's some pretty. It involves the difficulties of life. I'll say that, and whether it's realistic or true, I honestly can't say. I get asked all the time, "Are you sure this is not your life story?" And I'm like, I don't have any idea.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. That's pretty telling. Let's see. Keep moving you around. Ruby, let's go with Ruby. Ruby, unmute, and I'm gonna swap here on another. I'm gonna give you another question. Okay, I'm gonna give you and Jill and Kathy and Taji another question. Okay.
Okay.
Your question is, how has your understanding of faith changed through your writing journey? How has your understanding of faith changed through your writing journey?
So for me, my understanding of faith through my writing journey, it has the best way that I can answer that question is it wasn't my writing that changed my faith. It was my faith that changed my writing. I have always been a believer in Jesus Christ, and I always will be. But as I started writing just for my own sake, not necessarily hiding him, but just because I wanted to write what I wanted to write. But as I grew up, as I grew closer to the Lord, I started realizing that I wanted to write with him. And as my faith grew, so did the way that I saw what it means to be human, the way that I saw how this thing called life works. And because of that, the way that my stories unfold transformed into something so much more beautiful than it would have been had I continued in the way that I was before.
So let me ask you a personal question. Is Misfits, is it a fictional story about you, or is it your journey and how you grew with a group of people?
So no, The Misfits is just a fictional story that I made up with fictional characters. I will say a lot of the characters in different ways embody different parts of me, because I believe all of us as authors can kind of agree that when we write stories, especially if it's fiction stories, you kind of put yourself into these characters, even if they're not actually you.
Right.
And so this is just a story that the Lord graciously gave me inspiration for throughout the past 8 years. My other novel, The Colors of the Mind, that is my testimony. But my testimony, if you know my testimony, you can see snippets of it coming out through The Misfits, but The Misfits is not my story, personally.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Taji, would you like to tell us what part of your story reflects healing most clearly?
Healing most clearly? Well,
Healing most clearly.
well, my story came out because of me entering the church and learning to just show different ways of how I'm feeling instead of always, taking it personally or doing something back like a tit for a tat. I decided to use my words and express my feelings through my writing. So, Help the Decent People was inspired, and it came through my faith of me not wanting to continue to argue with the ones who have a fake name under my house. They have separated me from my family. I work all of the time. I've been practicing celibacy. I have no drug issues, no alcohol issues. I go to the gym faithfully. I inspire every age to go to the gym. So when I get to the gym, sometimes I'll see women and husbands and wives with their canes and everything at the gym. Is very motivating. And I like to speak very kind words of what I'm going through because we're trying to get the ones who have done this to see what they've done to our lives, be held accountable, stop debating us. This is what happened. It's not an opinion. Correct the wrong and move on, just like a lot of them claim they go to church. So I'm like, if you go to church, then you know exactly what you did to my family and me. You know, we were not a threat or anything. And just make that right wrong and let's move on from it. So I'm speaking on this through my writing to get my voice heard on why I carried the anger for so long. Because at one point, a lot of them claimed that they were the child of God, and the way that they were behaving and separating me from my family, trying to discourage me, trying to see me in a bad light when I was doing very well, that doesn't seem like children of the Lord.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Kathy, would you unmute? Jill, I'm going to hold you to last. Okay. Okay. Kathy, can you unmute? Unmute your computer. There you go. There you go. Okay. Your question is, how has your understanding of faith
I cannot
changed
hear.
through your writing journey? Okay. How has your understanding of faith changed through your writing journey?
Okay, I'm unable to hear anything that is being said. I will respond. The understanding faith, it changed through my writing journey. With writing the two books, it become more and more evident, more and more stronger how our love for one another and our love for God and our faith brought us through each near death experience. But the main uh, understanding comes with book 3, which will be Through a Mother's Eyes. And it was upon the loss of both of them where I lost my way. I totally was lost. And without my faith and God's healing, I wouldn't be here today.
Well, good for you. You know what? That's losing children is always difficult. I watched my mother struggle when my brother died, so I understand. I understand what you're saying. Okay, Miss Jill, which one of those do you want? Do you
I'll just
want
take it all.
how
No,
your
sure.
yeah, well, how do you want how your story reflects healing, or do you want how your understanding of faith changed through your writing?
I'll just give an answer of how everything is reflecting in my world. How I learn is reflecting through other people as mirrors, learning what to feed, what not to feed. When I write, it slows me down. It helps me to think. It helps me to see the contrast. Okay, what am I learning from this? What's the other side of the coin? How can I use this for me to elevate me, to overcome this emotion or this trigger or this upset? Is this feeding my soul or is it draining me? And learning how to integrate, my ego, my lower part of my mind, my fleshly part, and listening to God, surrendering. And that's the key, is by being in stillness and meditating and being quiet, then I can listen to that inner voice, then I can follow direction. And trusting and faith in the unknown is scary, right? Because we're comfortable and we don't trust ourselves fully. So for me to pray and fully trust myself, that takes a lot of strength to do it step by step, step by step. But that's how you grow your faith. That's how you expand. That's how you elevate. And so for me, it was all about speaking my truth, being honest, learning how to get in alignment with myself, being grounded and stable, and listening to that inner voice, trusting God and what He says, even though it doesn't look great on the outside and it may look different than what other people are saying. I'm trusting the bigger part of me so I can integrate the small part of me that thinks I know it all, follow a bigger purpose so I can help other people navigate the dark, integrate parts of them that are keeping them stuck, to look at things a different way. And so I started to use my writing as a tool to teach people how to follow their truth, to be honest, to live, take off their mask, to live differently, and to find that balance and to trust themselves to take a path that feels right and not just conform because everybody says so.
Okay. Thank you, Jill. Jill's books, I will tell you, are I moderated her author of the hour. Jill's books are fascinating. Her transmutation into this person she is fascinating. So here's the next question. Was there a moment when growth required you to let go of something familiar? And for me, it was when my mother broke her hip, and within a 6-week period, she was learning to navigate on a walker so she could come home, and I was ending a 40-year career. So my whole world turned upside down for 10 years. But the outcome of it is that I was a good caregiver, and I took care of her with all my heart, and I was committed. But it was an awful quick change in my life. So was there a moment when your growth required you to let go of something familiar? Ruby. Going to start with Ruby.
Honestly, I feel like that's kind of the season of life that I'm living right now. Is there's a lot of small things that if I just kind of listed them off, I'd be here for a while, of like things that keep me in my comfort zone, like even with my family, even with my friends, that I've had to step out of or step away from, because they were either not helping me continue on my journey with the Lord, or even worse, inhibiting me. I would say if I had to think of one that might reflect the stories that I've written, probably honestly going to college to branch off of Colors of the Mind, because I went to a college out of state, and that was definitely out of my comfort zone. It wasn't as far as I expected to go, but it was still, I wasn't home in the same house that I'd been in for a decade, I think, at that point. My parents, my family wasn't there 24/7. And that was definitely something that was something new. And especially at that point back in the day, it was exhilarating. It was freeing. And I didn't realize how challenging it was until it actually happened.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Going to college, even if you do live in your home or in your, is a total different experience. BG, was there a moment when growth required you to let go of something familiar?
Wow.
Other
Yes.
than the fact that you lost your memory, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's so many situations that I can recall. Uh, the most difficult part of it, wow. I had two businesses, and I was, let's just say I was doing very well. Okay, I was doing very, very, very well. I woke up from a 7-month nap. Wow, that was beginning. That was the beginning of a very difficult journey. 8.5+ years of rehabilitative therapy. I had to learn to walk, talk, eat, function, everything. All of it was like I was a newborn. And
Wow.
oh God.
You know what? That's enough. That's too much. I mean, that's a lot more than probably any of us could ever even begin to fathom having to do.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, honestly.
No, no. Tracy, I hate to put this on you after hearing BG's story, but tell us if there was some time when growth required you to let go of something familiar.
Oh yeah. So for me, I think that in order to grow, you have to let go of things. We can go back to college days, hanging out with certain people, doing certain things, and different opportunities would present themselves. But in order for me to be able to accept those opportunities, I had to let go of some of the things that I was doing in the past because I knew they were not beneficial and helpful for what I was trying to do. So, and one of the things that I try to tell people is that in order to grow, you have to let go of something. And if you are in a group, if you have a group of friends and you are probably the smartest person in the group, you probably need to find another group so that you can grow. You probably need to let that one go because if you are the smartest one in the group, that means everyone is coming to you for everything. So you need to be where you can get help as well. So I believe if for growth to fully take place, you have to be willing to let go of something. If not, you're not going to grow as much as you should.
Thank you. Thank you. I will tell you, we have a lot of followers. We're getting a lot of questions. Jerry, Was there a moment that you were required to let go of something familiar? And the answer, I know there's a lot.
Yes. Hold on, it fell fell out of my ear.
You,
Um,
you fell off. Okay.
yeah. Yes, I actually just have two quick short ones. One is learning that when we grieve, we have love. When we have joy, we have love as well. Love is the footbridge of between sorrow and joy. And sometimes we go back and forth and we try to get our equilibrium back, our balance. Um, but we have to grieve when we lose someone, but we have to understand the reason why we are grieving is because of our love. And I don't think our loved ones want us to stay in grief. They want us to embrace joy again. So that's that.
I
And then
think
the other,
you're right.
yeah, the
You're
other
right.
thing that's recent is I had to give up my stability. It wasn't a choice. Financial stability, it wasn't a choice for me. But when I stopped and thought about it, I thought, oh, well, now this gives me more time to write. This gives me more time to, help market my book. This helps me have more opportunities to serve and to speak, and to podcast guests. So even though I feel like I could have gotten really, really down, I think I just learned to embrace the opportunities.
I agree with that. I agree with that. When you go from a very full life and you go from a very to trust me, I had a huge social circle of friends. And once I started taking care of my mother, I had no friends. And I had no friends for 10 years. And instead of being angry and worrying and all of that, you learn to embrace, and you learn to grow, and you learn more about yourself. And so I think that's important. Jill, I know you want to talk, but I'm going to let Teresa talk first, and then I'm going to come back to you, and we're going to try to see if Kathy can hear us. Teresa, when did growth require you to let go of something familiar?
Well, my panic attack and anxiety attacks, I've been suffering for about 25 years, and in 2022, I had COVID. And that made me even more panicky and have irrational thoughts. Then I realized that worrying does not change the outcome, and that you could damn yourself worrying about something that's going to happen or not happen, but it doesn't change the outcome. And so I was able to let go of a lot of those unhealthy panic attack thoughts and anxiety thoughts, which is part of my condition, my journey through schizoaffective disorder and anxiety. And that was something that was so familiar to me, but the COVID, lying down in bed and reflecting and letting God do his job helped me to let go of all the worries by a huge portion.
Good for you. Good for you. God bless you. That's really uplifting. Jill, and then I'll go to Kathy and Taji. Jill.
So yeah, I just when you answer the call, right, a higher calling or to God, you do go through a lot of change. Like I lost my marriage, my family, like people that kind of were kind of stuck or holding me back, and I wasn't able to grow or expand. And so it was hard to let go of them because I was comfortable and it was all I had known. But as I was letting go of people and environments, at the same time, I was also getting my peace back. I was also getting my health back, my confidence back. So even though I was losing things, I was learning how to retrain my mind. I was learning how to get back to myself again and kind of get away from the noise and find out what was true to me instead of trying to hold all this weight that was draining me, right? Or being projected upon me. And so, learning, it hurts. It's hard. There's growing pains. You have to, do a lot of inner work, because you're not comfortable now, and you're in the unknown, but you have to start a new pattern and then be consistent with it. But that's how you create growth. That's how you expand. And so really you're being stripped so you can be filled up with new oil, with new wineskin, so he can fill you with light and elevate you in energy, so you can do a different purpose, so you can grow and expand and see things differently, and be a leader for other people and show people the way. And so yes, it's hard, but as you let go of things, you're getting replaced with better things. And that's kind of how I've always been able to look at it, is even though I was letting go of something better was coming in its place. And that really helped me a lot through my changes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate that. Okay. So Kathy, I'm going to go to you because I can't tell if Taji is still with us. Kathy, can you hear me?
I'm right here, but I'll wait.
Okay, thank you. Kathy, can you hear me? Unmute. Nina, were you able to get a hold of Kathy to see if she could? Can you hear us? Can you unmute your computer? Okay, can you have to unmute your computer.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
It's unmute. I cannot hear anyone else. I can't hear anything on the program. I can't hear anyone else.
Well, I'm sorry, because we're having a great discussion.
I'm catching it in bits and pieces. I appreciate it, but
when did you grow when you were required to let go of something familiar?
Letting go of something familiar. That was 47 years of having my sons with me, and finally be able to let go of the pain and the grief of losing them. And that came through writing. And I would say pain is worse when you hold it inside. Uh, you you must be able to get that out in some way or form, even if it's just with a closest friend. That brings healing and growth.
Absolutely. Kathy, they're going to flash the question in front so that you can see it. So when I call on you, they'll flash the question on your computer. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Taji. Was there a moment when growth required you to let go of something familiar?
So yes, the moment when growth required me to let go of something familiar is when I lost my parents. I grew up with my mother and father in the household. They raised me until I was adult age. They were married for 56 some years. And every other summer we would go to the South where their family lived, because we lived in California, grew up in Oakland, California. And I was the youngest out of 9 kids. So I was always around my parents. My mom loved to cook 7 days a week. I enjoyed being around her. Sometimes they was like the funniest, it's laughs, it's cries. Sometimes we're upset, but we got through it. And then I lost my baby girl. I always wanted a daughter, and I lost her father. And so that has me how I am right now. Like, that's why I want to make sure that my youngest son in our marriage, because we lost our daughter, is okay. I want to make sure that I'm around people who want something in life and do not put me in situations where I have to fight or argue or anything like that. Just keep me in peace. And I like to compliment people and keep them in peace. And so every now and then when I feel like someone is doing something to try to take that piece away from me, I automatically go in another direction, which has brought me here to Reader's Magnet to start expressing through my writing how I have changed. And regardless of whoever think I haven't, they are going to be behind me, and I'm just going to keep moving forward.
And they will stay behind you. They will stay behind you and they will help you move forward. The fact that you have two consultants, they will stay behind you and help you. So, how do you write about pain while you offer hope? How do you write about pain when you offer hope? Kathy, I'm going to start with you. Kathy, unmute. There you
Yes.
go. How do you?
Writing about the pain came easy, but finding hope through pain and through writing,
Yes.
that was the healing part. It was recognizing that the pain was so severe and so deep that even I could not feel God for a period of time, but He never left me. It's realizing
No.
that pain, acknowledge it, and moving forward.
Good for you. Good for you.
Excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Jill, make it quick because I got a whole bunch of more people.
Okay.
How does writing about pain, Jill, offer? How can you write
First of
about
all,
pain and still offer hope?
when you when you see pain and you feel pain, you're acknowledging pain. So you're not running from it. So you're owning what it is. Okay. And then from it, okay, what's the solution to this? What is this teaching me about myself? Where am I out of alignment with myself? What am I feeding that's keeping me stuck in this pain? It's learning how to acknowledge it, to feel it, but then be able to allow myself to release it, to see myself in my mind being healthy, being well, and allowing myself to have a new vision, to projecting a new reality for myself, and realizing this isn't what I want. What do I want? And allowing myself to shift my mindset from the pain to what would healing feel like. How can I build from this? What is it teaching me about myself? How can I expand and help others to get out of this? And so that's really what I did. And my books are all about how I overcame physical and psychological pain. And I show you how to do it in my books.
Thank you. Thanks, Jill. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Okay. What the next question is going to be in Ruby. I'm going to go to you because then I can keep track of where I am. What version of yourself did you have to leave behind in order to grow?
The version of myself that I had to leave behind in order to grow was definitely the little broken victim girl. Without taking up too much time, I was in 2019, I was taken advantage of by many people in many different ways. And that definitely created a new broken version of me where my innocence and everything that I knew was gone. But I had to let that go in order to grow into the woman that I am now, the woman of God that I am now, because it is through Him that I was able to heal. It is because of Him and His healing grace that I am healthy, that I am whole, and that despite what has been done to me, I am not a victim. I am just somebody who went through that. And because of that, I am able to tell my personal story and stories that reflect that kind of true pain that humans go through a lens that hope can still be found.
Thank you. Thank you. That's pretty powerful.
Thanks.
Tajil, what version of yourself had to be left behind in order to grow?
For me, it was people
No,
pleasing.
Jill, wait.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I didn't think so.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Teresa, thanks, Jill. Teresa, what version of yourself had to leave left behind in order to grow?
My neediness from having a very broken childhood with my family. My parents were divorced. My mother raised me. She was stressed out often and took things out on me. And I made a series of decisions that were the result of that, seeking people to replace my mother. And I even gave a woman $5,000 in 1 year, trying to purchase a mother figure and a best friend. And I realized that I need to be stronger than that, and that I can move on from the broken child that I was and be an adult that's responsible and not a fool to anybody to be taken advantage of. I echo Ruby's sentiment similarly. And I just realized that I need to make wise decisions and not make decisions based on my past and learn from my mistakes.
Thank you so much. Okay, Tracy, what version of Tracy had to be left behind so that you could grow?
Well, let me think. As a youngster, I was a little more, I don't want to say out there, but a little bit different. I was more willing to take chances, more willing to go into environments that I probably shouldn't be in, more willing to do things that probably weren't advantageous for me, what I was trying to do. So I had to let that person go and start going back to church to find people that were more aligned with what I wanted to be. Meaning that stop hanging out with the people that did certain things and hang out with more spiritual people that were able to help me to see that some of the things that I was doing was not helpful in where I was trying to get to. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. BJ, BG. Unmute, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That was the whole time.
What version of you, so your old version had to be left behind. Did you ever find that old person as you became the new BG after your memory loss?
The challenge.
Or you just didn't
Go ahead.
You just didn't remember him, but everyone else did.
Well, I think the most significant challenge in my experience, I lost my memory, and at the time both my parents were still alive, so I have 5 siblings, and I didn't know who I was. So in trying to find myself, it was common for me to ask questions. People who knew me said they knew me. I'd ask questions, and what I got, just amongst my family, never mind the rest of them, just among my family, I got 7 different versions of who I am or who I was.
Wow.
And it was very, very confusing. And I have a god sister, term of endearment, from New York. And she told me, she said, she and my godbrother came down from New York to visit me in the hospital. I was in a coma, so I didn't even know they were there. But she said, I was really, really mad at you for so many years because I thought I knew you. I thought we were best friends. And I realized when we got to the hospital, I didn't even know you had a mother, a father, and brothers and sisters. She said, everybody in New York, pardon my expression, but she said, everybody in New York thought you were some orphan bastard. Nobody knew you. And then I realized, wow, when my elder brother was in the hospital waiting room, he said there were 5 or 6 different groups, and they were all sitting around in the waiting room wondering who the others came to see. And at one point, the doctor walked out and said, I had flatlined again, and nobody but family would be able to see him. So all of them got to walk out. And my elder brother said that one of the individuals who was he was wearing leather and chains because we were bikers, and one of the guys says, "Hey, Buck, you not coming?" And he said, "No." And the guy says to him, "Well, they said they're not going to allow anybody to see him except family." And we've been riding with these guys for 5 years. And my other brother said, "That's my brother." And the guy was like floored. But my god sister said that your life consisted of a great many little circles, and you never allowed any of the two circles to intersect.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your story is so compelling. Thank you so much. Jerry, tell us what version of yourself had to be left behind in order for you to grow. And then we're going to go to a commercial. So, and Bobby will join us on the other side. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Jerry.
Yes, I had to accept with the loss of my husband that was something I had no choice over how it happened, when it happened, anything like that. Whereas before, in earlier life, I was able to choose my husband, marry him, choose to have children, have the children. And so I struggled a lot with my identity, as a widow. And so I had to basically find myself. I did a lot of journaling. And as a result of that and interacting with other widows and widowers from different groups, including ballroom dancing, healing came. And I think healing comes when you share your story with another person. And it's kind of like, is that final aspect. So writing our books, talking about, all of these questions that you're asking us is a way that we can share with other people hope, faith, all of these things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is a growing thing. We are at 1 hour already. We have another 30 minutes. Bobby McLaren has joined us, and she will introduce herself on the other side of the commercial. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to the last roundtable of season 7 of the Festival of Storytellers. I'm Ellie Cassetta, and we're here with a number of authors, and we're discussing the final word reflections on healing, faith, and growth. It has been a very, it has been a very enlightening hour for me. And our final participant has finally been able to join us. Bobby McLaren is also one of the very first authors that I had the pleasure of meeting when I started with Reader's Magnet way back in 2019. Bobby, it's good to see you.
Hey,
Please
thank you.
introduce yourself and introduce your books. Tell us
Okay.
about your books, and I'm going to let you answer the first question of the last half. So,
Okay.
Bobby,
Good
take
deal.
it away here.
And I apologize to all of you. I was looking so forward to getting to in on this one in particular because number one, I love Ellie, but also because this is a great, great topic. My name is Bobby McLaren, and the last book I've written is Gun Oil and Teddy Bears, and it's all about how that at 8 years old I tried to take my father's shotgun and kill myself because I felt like I had some shame that I was molested right before my 5th birthday sexually, and I was scared to death that my family would find out and wouldn't want me. And so, in fact, the last segment that you guys were just talking about, and where you were talking about, what you have to give up, I had to give up bitterness and hatred and realize that, what, you don't have to be perfect to be okay. And but the book is about the subtitle is surviving shame, fear, and suicide to a life of freedom. And it's amazing. As you can see, I was not successful, thank God. But that is the name of it, Gun Oil and Teddy Bears. And also, I've written with Reader's Magnet. They rebranded my The Sounds at River's Edge, which is all about true stories about growing up in Florida on the water and what the things I did to my sister, which people think now I'm a very mean kid, or I was a mean child. And then, of course, the other is the first annual Duck Springs Whistling Contest, which they allowed me to do a lot of the artwork in it. And it's just a very short children's story about a whistling contest. And they get to get a whistle and, of course, a gift card. But anyways, that's me. And I'm just so thrilled to get in on any part of this. And thank you guys for being accommodating.
Oh, well, I wouldn't have it any other way, and I'm the host. I wouldn't have it any other way than to have Bobby join us because she's pretty special to me, and we've never met. And this is just how this for all of you joining in on us. This is how we authors with Reader's Magnet become familiar with each other. We know each other's stories. We talk to each other through these kinds of forums and authors of the hour, and we just develop friendships. So, Bobby, this special segment, y'all, that I'm not from the South, but this special segment is called hashtags. So I want you to quickly share your hashtag, which each of these words, what are your thoughts when you hear either of these two hashtags? Bobby, I'm going to let you start. They are faith and growth or healing journeys. What's your original thoughts on those?
Oh, wow. They kind of go in together, don't they?
Yes.
Healing journeys
Yes.
actually develop because of faith and growth. Um, for after, okay, when the situation arose that I had been molested as a child, I spent the next 15 years deciding I was going to find that man and kill him. And I did all kinds of studies on how to kill him slowly. But I never told my parents because he told me, and you got to get this, at 5 years old, your parents are your world. And he said, if I told anybody, he'd kill my parents. So of course they never knew until I was about 18 and I finally said something. But I had such bitterness and hatred and scared that somebody would find out I was so damaged and so messed up. And yet the thing about it is I was raised knowing that Jesus loved me and that God loved me. And I was mad at God for a long time because I was like, well, God, where were you? Of course, now I look back and I'm like, well, he was there the whole time. And looking at the person I am now, I think faith and growth is because all the things I've been through, the hardest adversities have created to who I am today. And I hated myself when I was young. But now I look at me and I'm like, man, I like me. I think I could be, if I had a friend just like me, that would be super because I'm so stinking faithful. It's ridiculous. But I had to learn how to forgive. And when I began to feel that in my heart that the Lord was telling me, you need to forgive that man. I thought, forgive him. He needs to die and burn in hell. I mean, come on, man. This guy's he's a predator. He needs to die. But when I began to pray for that man every single day through faith and through healing, one day I broke
You know
down,
what?
and it did it.
We've,
I broke right there.
we've all had those. We've all had those moments when you say, "Where
Woo!
is this God of mercy?" We all
Absolutely.
have those moments.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
Jerry, faith and growth. Unmute, Jerry.
Yes. Faith and growth. I think when we all experience these moments, whatever kind of trauma or anything that we experience, that, you know, we have a choice to make. And so when there's a moment in each widow or widower's life where a decision must be made, the choice is whether to trade her or his unexpected sorrows for the life of the past or embrace the future. Yes, Lord. I think that's when
Yes, Lord.
yeah, that's when we finally say, okay, I'm giving you everything, the pain, the circumstances, and I'm asking you to redeem it.
Thank you. Taji, are you there? Yours
Yes,
yours is okay. Yours are healing journeys. Quickly tell me your thoughts on those two words, healing journey.
Oh, this is actually why I'm here, because of my healing journey, because I'm getting very much mature now and understanding a lot of things and learning about differences and learning to express myself better and not being angry about it, but actually speaking about it and identifying exactly who I'm angry with. Because a lot of times we are upset and we take it out on people and they're like, well, I didn't do anything. So you have to identify who is the person you're angry with. If you get a chance to express it to them, then express it, but let it go. And I think by me just keeping my peace, telling the person what they've done, or if they haven't done anything, just being kind to a person, that's a healing for me, because it's showing that I have growth and I'm identifying what is upsetting me, and then I like to express what's make me happy, and so that keeps me centered.
Thank you. Teresa?
Yes.
Tell me what you think of when you hear healing journeys.
My friendships that have redeemed me from other friendships where people have abandoned me because I had mental illness. I had a soul friend who cried with me and told me at Notre Dame through email that your real friends care about your mind and stability. But when I told her that a psychologist said I was on the verge of a psychotic breakdown, she never talked to me again until several years later. But fortunately, I had a friend who became my best friend that stuck with me through everything. And I've had other friends who have stuck with me and not taken advantage of me or belittled me for my illness. That is healing and growth, because I've realized who my true friends are, and I need to be on guard of people that are not caring or compassionate. And one last thing is that my husband is my healing, because many men have broken up with me because of my mental illness, but he cares a lot about me, and there are truly caring people out there who are willing to accept you and love you and embrace you. So he's my Christ figure.
Thank you. Thank you. That your whole story is very inspirational. Your story and BG's story are just, I mean, everybody's stories are inspirational, but Ruby. Faith and growth.
Faith
and growth.
Faith and growth. When I see that hashtag, I really just think about the first thing that pops in my head is Hebrews 11:1, which is faith is the assurance of things hoped for, or forgive me, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the assurance of things not seen. And that is a very simple yet profound definition of what faith is. And I also feel like without faith, it is near impossible to grow. You have to have faith in something. And for me, what I believe is that to have faith in Christ is the best thing to have. And to have faith in Him and what the Lord can do will grow you exponentially faster and more abundantly than you could ever hope to do yourself.
Thank you. Okay. Kathy, unmute and your words are healing journeys. Healing journeys. Thank you, Nina.
Healing journeys. It's accepting not only the circumstances, but accepting ourselves and accepting the changes that we are going through, that you're no longer that person anymore, that you have an opportunity to become something bigger, to become something glorifying God's name. And I live by Hebrews 11:1, and I thank you for sharing that. Our faith is the basis of it all. Yeah, without faith, I'm nothing.
That's very true. Thank you, Kathy. Jill, I'm going to come to you, and then I've got to go to the two men. We don't have a lot longer left, and we still got another segment. So let's quickly go through it, Jill. Can you do it quickly?
Here so really quick, when I hear healing journey, okay. So when I hear
healing journey,
yeah,
do you
sure,
want healing journeys, or do you?
I'll
okay,
do,
there
I'll
you
do
go.
Healing journeys. Because healing means that there's something wrong with us, and we're born into this world perfect, and something happens to us. And so then we have to retrieve that part of us that we gave away. So for me, it's about reclaiming my power. It's about stop being manipulated, stop being controlled, holding people accountable to the mirror, making them, holding my ground and not wearing a mask and being something that I'm not. And learning to play a new game and to feed people, places, and things that fill me up, that nourish me, that don't drain me and make me feel bad. And learning how to starve those energies out. And so, we go through trials and tribulations so we can overcome and build and be stronger and grow from it and make better choices that elevate us.
Thank you. Tracy, faith and growth.
Faith and growth. I think that by having faith and by understanding and learning and continuing to learn, that we are able to grow, continuing to seek advice, continue to entrench ourselves with others that can provide that knowledge that we don't have, will help us to grow into the person that we want to be. I keep it simple.
Thank you, sir. BG, healing journeys. Unmute. You have to unmute. There you go. There you go.
My apologies.
Thank you. Healing journeys.
Healing journeys. I think that in life, all of life, you have to embrace the pain. You have to first acknowledge and embrace the pain before you can start your journey to healing. It's kind of like when you go to an AA meeting, and the first thing that you introduce yourself and you say, for example, hi, I'm BG Howard. I'm an alcoholic. So you got to acknowledge, admit that you're there before you can start your journey. And it's like, if you can imagine an inch and a half seed, acorn, growing into a 30-foot oak tree. That can't happen without change. And all throughout Scripture, the challenges that the biblical characters faced, you look back and you think, wow, that was my journey. That was my journey of healing, because everyone who was tested, basically everyone had to be tested to grow.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We have about 10 minutes. I know for some of you this is going to be tough, but here's the drill. I'm going to ask you to finish. We're going to do this quickly. We're going to go one at a time. So you can each of you unmute, because we're going to do these these three questions very quickly. Okay? Just answer this one question. And then I'll carry it through the next person. Jerry, I'm going to start with you. Faith carried me through.
Definitely carried me through the loss of my husband, the loss of children. The loss of my identity.
Okay. BG, faith carried me through.
The toughest experience of my life.
Tracy, faith carried me through.
Faith carried me through the loss of one of my parents and my grandparents, and it has helped me to stay married to the same woman for almost 20 years.
Good for you. Teresa, answer just this one question. Faith carried me through.
I stopped taking my medications because of the side effects, and then I realized that was a wrong decision, and so I stopped believing in God in the process and recovery. But then when I realized I needed to take psych meds, after I flunked 2 papers, I decided to turn my life over to God again, and I got an A+ on my paper to establish my strategies.
Okay, just that one question.
Good job.
Taji, faith carried me through. Unmute. There you go. Faith carried me through.
Trials and tribulations.
Okay. Can you do it, Jill? Unmute, Jill. Faith carried me through.
Through loss, fear, to love and overcoming.
Okay. Bobby, faith carried me through.
Faith carried me through from bitterness and depression to freedom and a life in God.
God bless you. Cappy, unmute. Unmute, Cappy.
Okay.
Okay. Faith carried me through. Answer that rest of that sentence.
Faith carried me through life, through every loss, through the
There you
loss of
go.
my parents, through the loss of everyone I loved. Faith has carried me through and continues.
Ruby, faith carried me through.
Faith carried me through the loss of my innocence, the regaining of who I was called to be by the Lord, and through writing the stories and sharing my stories with the world.
Okay, don't unmute, because here's the next one for you, Ruby. What I once feared became. What I once feared became.
What I once feared became the very thing that helped the Lord transform me into who He's called me to be now.
Super. Cappy, unmute. Unmute. Okay.
Ah,
What I once feared became.
uh,
Kathy.
but it became a story. It became my purpose. Became my purpose to let the
How
world know.
wonderful. How wonderful. Okay, Bobby. What I once feared became.
My greatest testimony.
There you go. Jill. What I once feared became.
My truth and complete self love.
Good. Tajil. What I once feared became.
My strength and my salvation.
Thank you. Jerry. What I once feared became.
The fear would have been rejection, but what came of it was a message.
BG. What I once feared became.
What I once feared became the most instrumental portion of my testimony.
God bless you. Tracy. What I once feared became.
My way forward, my direction, and my light.
Teresa. What I once feared became. Finish that
Talking
sentence.
publicly about my mental illness.
Okay. You know, I am just absolutely blown away by this panel. I mean, what an hour and a half this has been. I'm going to let each of you promote your books. Tell us where we can find you, if we can find you on social media, where your books are sold. Please be brief because we still got more to do. So, Ruby, tell us about your books. Give us a bit of promotion of yourself, and where can we find your books, and where can we find Ruby? Are you on social media?
Yes. All right. My books, as I said before, is New Quantico Files, The Misfits, and Colors of the Mind. And you can find both of them on Amazon. You can also find The Misfits on Barnes & Noble and Kobo Books as a hardback and paper copy and ebook. You can find me on my website, rubygwrites.com, and I am currently in the midst of launching my YouTube, which is also Ruby G Writes. So please subscribe to my newsletter and my YouTube to learn more about all the things.
Thank you so much, dear. It's been a pleasure having you. Ruby, unmute Ruby, or not Ruby, Kathy. Sorry, there's so many of you. Kathy,
Okay.
unmute. Where
Okay.
can we find your books?
My books is actually a series of books. Book 1 and Book 2 are available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, as well as several other book venues. It is also out in Audible Book. Book 3 will be coming out later in possibly April or May. You can find me across several social medias, simply Kathy Pounds Graham. I do have a website, and it's author/KathyPoundsGraham.com. And I welcome anyone. Thank you.
Well, I have to tell you, just watching you, I lost a sister-in-law in August, and you remind me so much of her. So thank you. Bobby, where can we find Bobby?
Well, you can find me. Actually, right now I'm sitting at my house, but that's okay. All right. I have Gun Oil and Teddy Bears, which is the latest book that I've had published. I'm working on another one, but we'll talk about that next year. Anyways, you can find it on Barnes and Noble, Amazon. You can go to my website, bobbyjmclaren.com. You can get it basically any bookstore. You can usually find it, but you can always find me on Facebook. You can find me all over the place. I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to have you. I'm glad you finally made it, Bobby. Okay,
Listen,
Jill.
I'm hoping, I have a question. I can go back and, if I remember correct, I can actually watch that hour I missed if I go back on Reader's
Yes.
Magnet. because I know they record them.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure of that. I'll check with them later. Thank you,
Yes.
Ellie, and thank you guys.
Thank you. Okay, Jill, quickly, because we're at overtime right now. So where can we find Jill?
So you can find my 4 books on www.jillnypower.com through Archway Publishing, or you can go through Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. You can type in my name, Jill Nypower. I'm all over the internet with free podcasts. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm all over the place. I'm a certified life coach who am limited with my clients, but you can email me at jillnypower@gmail.com. And yeah, I'm just here to shine my light and to show you a different way of being.
And you are shining a light, sister. Okay, Tajil, where can we find you?
Okay, so I can be reached through my email. It's my first name, Taja, TAJAI.C@yahoo.com. You can purchase my books at Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, and authorhouse.com. And of course, I'm on Facebook. I don't use email, but I might start getting on there.
Are you okay. Thank you so much. Jerry, where can we find Jerry?
You can find Jerry. My website is drjerrylwoodbridge.com. That's where I have my blogs. That's where I have my podcast recordings. That's where you can generally find anything about me there. All of my books are available on Amazon. Joy Overcame Sorrow is the book I'm really trying to promote now, along with Joy's Journal, because they kind of complement each other.
Okay. Thank you, Jerry. BG, where can we find you?
I can be found on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Author B.G. Howard is my website, authorbghoward.com. You can also order the book from there. And if you order it from my website, you get a signed copy. This is a plug. But both novels, the Family Ties series, are available on all the .coms, as I mentioned, via my website. And I have 5 social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest.
Thank you so much. Should be able to find you. Okay, Dr. Tracy, tell us where we can find you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You can find me on Reader's Magnet. You can find me on Amazon, different Books A Million, different places. I also have a website, apollo1catalog.com, various social media spots. And I have some more stuff coming on Amazon shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Teresa, where can we find your books online, and are you on social media? There's your book. Okay. Where can we find
my
you?
book on Amazon. You can find my book on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble under Teresa Teller, THERESA, Teller, TELLER. I also have Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. So that's where you can find me. And My Brain Makes Me Proud, My Journey Through Schizoaffective Disorder and Anxiety.
Thank you. All right, now I want all of you to hold up your books.
And you,
We're going
Ellie,
to take a group picture.
Ellie, do you?
Pardon me?
Show
Do
your
me.
books.
I'm
Yes.
Ellie Gazzetta. My website is www.onecaregiversjourney.com. You will find One Caregiver's Journey, Generations of Good Food. And recently, One Caregiver's Journey was launched in Spanish under the title of La Jornada de un Cuidador. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, and that's it for right now. So let's everybody lift up your books. And we're going to take a group picture. Grab your books. You got your books, Jill? Okay. We're going to take a group picture. Everybody smile. Do we get it?
Good.
We got it. Okay.
All right.
We got it. Again, I'd like to thank you all for participating. For my participants, the backstage would like us to stay where we are. When all of this is over, they would like us all to stay here. The backstage wants to talk to us. So for our viewers, I thank you. This is the last roundtable of season 7. Please come back next year. There's another author of the hour. And then this evening at 8 Eastern Standard Time will be the finale with a number of us moderators. So please come back. And all of you on screen with me, please wait till this is over. Thank you. And remember, here at Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you. Bye for now.
This is the Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 7. A virtual celebration of narratives that rise, ignite, and flow shaped by every force of life. Storytellers unite to weave tales, sparking imagination, blending voices, and forging bonds that linger beyond the final word. A storyteller steps into the spotlight, sharing their journey, their book's soul, and the magic within.
There's things in our lives.
Some stories set your soul on fire. Others carry you with waves of feeling deep.
So I was used to eating healthy, fresh.
There are tales that ground you rich in tradition, anchored in truth.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
And some just take flight playful, dreamy, defying gravity. Oops, that was loud, but so are these stories. Bold, awakening, brilliant.
For you.
This is not just a book fair, it's a universe of storytellers, creators and readers discovering the power of narrative together. Join the Festival of Storytellers Chapter 7 today. Share your voice, discover new worlds, and be part of a story bigger than any one book.